Well, we're still here having chats for the Battle of the Middle-earth fight that's going to be happening on the 30th of October here at the Ramada Hotel in Sutton Coldfield. It's just not going to get any better than what we've got lined up for you now. He's a former English Midlands, 3 times British champion, 3 times European champion and a 3 times world kickboxing champion. Tyler Shakespeare's here, ladies and gentlemen. What are you doing here?
Well, basically, as many of you may know, I made the decision to retire from kickboxing, my last fight against Sam Allen. And I had some deep thought into it, and I had to take a lot of time to make sure that I made the right decision. And basically, going up through kickboxing, watching a lot of boxing, watching a lot of different traditional sports, you see a lot of people from a young age rush into an idea, and they can either end up having very short careers, they can end up having a lot of regrets, and I'm not willing to do that. Like, it's not that I've completely knocked on the idea of boxing, but he says I've got a lot left in kickboxing I want to try and do, because as you may know, I fought here on the 30th of October last year against Sam Allen, which, if I'm all honest, I enjoyed the fight. It was a very great victory to have, but there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I think it was my worst training camp since I was 11 years old, and I'm here to put that right.
There was a lot of problems with regards to getting that fight on. There was a lot of problems that have been caused after the fight. Did that play any part of you thinking, you know what, enough's enough, I'm pulling out, I'm not going to do anything? It
can do, if you're weak-minded. What's happened is, with me, over the last couple of months, I find I've got a lot more mature, and I've made sure the only downfall I can see of this fight is that I probably won't train too hard too early, because I'm training harder now, 13 weeks before the fight, than I ever did for the Sam Allen fight, and I've got 13 weeks left to go, and that is something, that's the hunger there that I ain't had for that fight. And it's not sour grapes, because I won the fight convincingly, but it's just something that was missing that I wasn't happy with.
Now, this is your pro debut fight.
Yes.
That's going to be here on the 30th of October. You're fighting Sean Law. You've already fought him before?
Yeah, cracking lad. Absolutely cracking lad. Tough cookie.
So, what's the crack there? What's going on with Sean Law? Hold on, first of all, I've got Tyler's father here, who's also his trainer, Alan Shakespeare. Alan, welcome.
Hello, Jason.
Nice to see you. You're now the promoter for this show, Battle of Middle-earth.
Yep.
Tyler, he's gone through a stage in the last 12 months. He wants to do it, he doesn't want to do it, he wants to do this, what's doing this. What is going on now?
Well, like I said last time we spoke, Jason, that I'd always support Tyler in whatever he wanted to do. His mind a year ago was boxing. Like he said, he's matured. He's seen that the grass probably isn't greener on the other side, and there's still stuff to do here. At the end of the day, he's been in limbo for 12 months.
Yes.
Top and bottom of it is, he's a fighter, and when fighters don't fight, they are in a lost place, and that's where he's been. Like I say, I'm the promoter for this fight. I made him an offer, a good offer, which he's been happy to accept. I think he was looking for a reason to do it anyway. I've come up with a really good opponent for him. Like you say, he's met Sean twice before, once as a junior, once as an amateur.
Totally different kettle of fish
but
now.
You know what? Tyler's bigger, stronger. He's come up again 2 weight categories. So is Sean. Sean's a very, very strong lad. Doesn't take a step backwards. Forward thinking, forward fighting. So is Tyler. The only thing you can take from their last 2 encounters were toe-to-toe battles. This time they're stronger with bigger guns to throw, and you're going to see a really good fight. And considering that they will both be making their pro debut, I congratulate John Green, Sean Law's coach and promoter, in taking the fight. It's been really, really easy to deal with, and I'm sure that this fight will grace the undercard of any world title fight, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Tyler's training with regards to the amateur kickboxing is going to be totally different now to the pro kickboxing training. Are you adjusting to that? How have you upstepping it and upgrading it to make sure that as he progresses more and higher, the training has got to stay with that? Is that the focus now on your part as his trainer and his father, that as it gets more involved in his training, you've got to upgrade your way of thinking and training as well as Tyler's fights.
Yeah, well, as you've heard from a couple of professionals on these interviews already, professionals motivate themselves, they motivate themselves 24/7. Tyler's no different. He has never been a finished product, and hopefully, it's a long time in coming to being a finished product. He had fallacies, he'd got weaknesses. We'll be working on those. We are working on those, and he's getting better each time. Won't go into too much detail because obviously Sean will be able to look at the DVD, and he'll be working on his game plan. Tyler will be working on his, and like I say, you'll see two much greatly improved fighters, much stronger fighters, and Tyler will be, I'm sure Sean will be as well, much more mature in his choice of shots.
So we've now got Tyler having his debut fight on. You've got Jake Richards as well. How's that getting?
That was a twist of fate with Jake moving from, I think he was on the south side of Birmingham, and now he's over in the north. The location of our gym suited Jake. He was a long time training partner of Tyler while they were both at Tusker fighting under Neil Kelly, and they both owe a lot to Neil for that. But fortune has it that they're both, again, living not too far away from each other in the vicinity of our gym, which is doing really well. And when I heard that Jake was literally around the corner, we made him an offer, which he's been keen to accept. He's fitted into the gym nicely. He's a good character to have around the gym. It's a very relaxed gym. It's a very different style, our gym. Not one that's replicated anywhere else I've ever seen. It's relaxed, it's fun, but it's really, really hard working, and they are both working really, really hard. But, and I say this is a very important factor, they're both having fun and enjoying doing it, and I think that's the difference. They're both really focused and taking it steady.
Tyler's got a great reputation with the kickboxing games, a very positive with me fighter when he's in the ring. When he boxed in this premises last year, he fought the lad from Scotland. Yes. You beat him. Afterwards, there were some scandalous accusations made. There was a few dirty rumours going round. They were said. There's no point about it. They were put out. This was happened. Tyler was this Tyler. Let's get it out in the open. I'm prepared to talk about it.
That's absolutely right.
So let's get it out in the open. If people want to throw accusations round that they've done this, somebody's done that, right? Get it out. Prove it. Let's get it out on the table now. What was officially said?
Well, it was
basically how I see it is that fight. He got very lucky. I've got respect for him. I'd absolutely be daft to say he's not a tough lad. He's not. He's a respectable lad. But the thing is, he met me on a C Tyler, nowhere near a peak Tyler. And if I can still put in the performance I did and get accused of going on Class A drugs, I must be doing something right. That's how I see it. But at the end of the day, that's to me sour grapes. And if you want to accuse people of that, you've got to back it up. And I'm more than willing, and I was willing afterwards to take any drug tests, absolutely anything, because I know I'm clean living.
Tyler was accused of taking enhancement drugs after that fight. One, because of his physical condition, but anybody who's known Tyler for any amount of time will know he always comes into the ring superbly fit. Yeah. The performance wasn't fantastic, as Tyler's alluded to, and I will agree with. But it was a convincing win, albeit by points. Sam's got a good chin, proved it on the day, but Tyler was a better kickboxer. Sam Allen was a box Tyler had to tick.
Yeah, that was it.
Because of our great sponsorship sponsors from Body Blitz Gym in Wall Green, who again are sponsoring this event, we thank them for that and making it possible. There was an accusation of taking drugs, which is totally ludicrous, but Tyler submitted himself to a drug test, which was refuted by the medical team on site on the night. Professional. But you know what, Jace, I'm glad we've had the chance to speak about it. And obviously, Sam, if you're watching this, you had the fight, you lost with grace. I'd like to bury the hatchet. What's been said has been said. Like you said, it's the fight game, stuff gets said. It's all, as far as we're concerned, it's all under the carpet. You've got off to a great start on your pro
Which well done to you for doing that, well done.
We applaud you, and I'm sure you're going to be in a great fight yourself, I'm sure you will. But, you know, we've spoke about it. you've had your say, we've had our say, it's all done and dusted. Sam Allen was like a box we had to tick. We've done that, we're moving on.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, fight fans, if you've heard the rumour, you've had it straight from the horse's mouth. Former, undisputed, unbeaten, amateur kickboxing champion Tyler Shakespeare now having his pro debut fight here at the Ramada on the 30th October. Good luck, all the best, well done. That's your promoter. One last question.
Yes.
Have you had any paracetamol to get that title fight on this bill?
It's been difficult. It's been difficult because, like you said, to the fighters themselves, that's a match that's been waiting for years to happen. They are, without doubt, the two best 67-kilogram fighters in the world.
They're recognised.
Absolutely.
As the two, number one and number two. They're both in there. Unbelievable. You've got this fight on the card straight away. Not by
just one association, but the majority of them, and there is a few, to be fair. But both camps have worked well with me. Both fighters are really, really keen to take the fight, and I think that's what's driving the fight. Not the camps behind them, not the politics, but the fighters. They're both hungry to prove who is number one. Well, come Battle for Middle Earth, we'll find out who's number one, and I'm sure they'll both give it their best.
The positive side, we went to Sean Law, and over 40 boxing fights, absolutely, well, there's not a word to describe how tough he is. Now, I don't like is you get loads of little fighters, you probably heard loads from yourself, Jason, the hype is really good, but you watch the fight and you think, that wasn't that good, to be fair. I can't promise a lot of things, but what I can promise is me and Sean do not take a backward step. It'll be a war. I'm not going to disrespect the lad and say, oh, I'm going to beat him up, because you know what? He's earned his respect, so I'm going to give him absolutely 100% of it.
Well, you're only as good as your last fight in this game, so you've learnt from your mistake on the last one. You can't take anything lightly. No. You have to be on your ball, on the game, especially in that ring. As we said earlier, but just before we had a chat, being in that ring is the most loneliest place going in this sport. You're in there, you're on your own, there's nowhere to hide, unless you've got a 20-stone referee. Tyler ain't going to be hiding. I don't see Sean Law absolutely hiding at all in the ring. You say, I've seen both of them fight. They are toe-to-toe. They want to go forward all the time. 30th of October, the Ramada Hotel here in Sutton Coldfield. Either be there or watch EastEnders.